What's shaking? Y'all know I'm Bacon. This is Calzax back on the mic, and today we got another Escape from Tarkov guide. This guide is going to be an interchange, basically a loot run, but centered towards tech, and I'm going to show you the whole path as well as POIs, so stay tuned. But first, I'd like to take 5 seconds to say we stream on twitch.tv/CalzXTV as well as on YouTube. We'd love to see you there. We have a Discord. Over 100 members are in there. We would love to have you be a part of it. Link is in the description. And please like and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you very much. All right, now we are getting into the meat of the video. So again, this run is going to be centered at tech. I'm talking graphics cards and Tetrizes. Those are all available on Interchange, very easy to find. And really the beauty of this run is that it's an interchange, meaning that most of the loot is unlocked. There's not a key blocking most of this loot, but if you do have some keys, you can obviously add to this run with those. But this run specifically requires no keys whatsoever, and you have the chance to walk out with millions. Because of the current Bitcoin market, the prices of Bitcoin, Tetrizes, and graphics cards are all skyrocketing, as well as other PC parts like the CPUs, like the circuit boards, things like that, are all raising in price. So this will get you that tech loot, that computer loot, and there's a variety of different ways that you can go about this. So with that, let's go ahead and head over to the map that we've made just for this run. We'll go ahead and post a link to the image. It's going to be somewhere in the description below. So look for that. You can use this map. You can always have it, share it with your friends to remember this run. But let's go ahead and hop over there and we'll talk about it. All right, and here we are on the map that we have designed for this run on Interchange. So if we go ahead and zoom in here, you'll see the workings of the run right here. So if you want to, you can just go ahead and look at this, but we're going to go ahead and talk about each of these numbers, what they mean, and why we chose this specific path. Before we get started talking about the POIs, I do want to talk about some of the general information when it comes to this run. So this run can totally be used on a scav. In fact, this is one of the main ways that I use this run because it requires no keys. Honestly, if you hop on a scav, even if it's in a night raid, honestly, sometimes I like the night raids even better because the loot just isn't hit sometimes for whatever reason. Even though you do spawn later in the raid, but you have less chance of running into those PMCs right at the beginning of the raid if you do it, and it's just a quick in, quick out, and you always have railway open, as far as I know, as a scav, and railway is the extract that we do want to prioritize, and we'll talk about that more as a minute. But this run can be used as a PMC or as a scav. It's always good to have in mind, but please do note there is a bit of a meta with the night scavs, I think, when it comes to this run. Now again, you could use it as a PMC. Let's talk about the extracts here. So obviously, depending on which side of the map you spawn on, whether it be PMC or scav, you might need to flip this run backwards and obviously add in little extra paths if you do have the keys with you. If you're a PMC and you only have intercom, obviously you're not going to have your railway. Even that's the one that we prioritize. If you do only have intercom, then you will have to do this route backwards and just come out through the optional area over here to intercom. Now, the reason that we do prioritize railway is I find it's just camped by extract campers a lot less. There's also a ton of different stashes in this little area. If you're unsure where those stashes are specifically, I suggest you look up a stash map for Interchange and look at the railway stashes. They are all in here. There's a stash right here, right here. There's like a barrel over here. There's several barrels, there's grassy caches, tons, all by railway. And intercom, again, if you have to, then take it. You obviously have no choice sometimes, but there are going to be a lot of snipers up on the top here, all looking down. Here's the extract down here, intercom checkpoint, and there's going to be snipers over here. It's just camped all the time, so it's harder to get out of there. That's why we always prefer railway, and as a scav, I will almost always go to railway if I have the time. You only need like 5 minutes, to be honest, to make it there, as long as you're not too overweight. But with that in mind, again, you can flip the route of the run back and forth. Let's go ahead and talk about the POIs and the specifics of the run now that we've talked about that general information. Now, ideally, we would start on this side and have railway as our extract, so we're going to be talking about the run from this point of view. So let's say that we're a scav or a PMC that has spawned on this side of the map, somewhere in here, the OLI side. Then we would start the run basically in in this order. And obviously, if you're a scav and you spawn somewhere in the middle of the run, you can feel free to hop in wherever. You are going to have to change it up, or you can run over to the start. But let's go ahead and talk about it. So the first POI that I want to talk about is the OLI, basically back of warehouse area. Now, this is a great area in the early wipe time because the hoses, the propane, all of these hideout items are just worth so much that it is actually a good place to hit. Now, later in the wipe, it's just not quite the same, but maybe it's not hit as often, so there might be some decent loot there. Just, it's good to have in mind, and could be featured in the run. Now, I would recommend you probably hit it first if you are doing this run, or maybe after our first POI. Now, let's go ahead and jump to our first POI that we'll always want to be checking. This POI right here, number 1, as we can see, this is the upper floor here that we will be starting on. Everything else is on the lower floor actually here, as we can see. But there is one POI here up top that we do want to make sure we hit, and this is Techlight. If you've played much Interchange, I'm sure you've heard about it or seen it, but it's a very important place to know about when it comes to finding graphics cards, Tetrizes, things like that. They all really spawn up in here. So definitely want to check there. Basically, we'll start up here, then we're going to start coming down the escalator, and that's going to transition us back to the ground level here. And then Texho is our next stop. That is a very similar spawned place as Techlight. It's going to get you that tech loot. Again, you're going to be finding things like Nixor lenses. You're going to be finding even light bulbs and things in there. But again, we are looking for the graphics cards, the Tetrises. And again, if at this current time, as of the making of this video, if you can find those Tetrises, if you can find those graphics cards, you're making yourself millions so fast. There can be multiple that even spawn in the map. It's crazy. So our next POI after that, we will continue following the orange arrows here to number 3. Number 3 is Rasmussen. Same thing, just like Techlight, just like Texho. You want to hit this place for the graphics cards, for the Tetrises. Same sort of thing. Check all the shelves. As with any of these, check the shelves, loot it clean, look around. They can spawn all over the shelves in there. Just really make sure you keep your eyes peeled. Don't walk by it. And then loot that up. Note that you are walking on wood in a lot of these. Not Techlight, but Texho and Rasmussen, you are walking on wood so people can hear you. They will take note of that. Be careful about that. Get in and get out fast. But check it. Anyway, after that, we'll quickly stop in Adik. There are just some random good spawns in here. You can find those like good valuable loot like golden neck chains and stuff. There's also a lot of jackets. It's just a good place to take a quick stop, peek around. Maybe you actually end up finding Killa in this area. So if you could skip it to Adik if you want to and just move to number 5. But I do find some decent loot in here. And again, if you are risky and you're looking to find Killa, he might be over here in this little area, possibly even in Adik. Just know that. But if you can get the kill on him, obviously you're just adding to the run. So yeah, from Adik, note that there are 3 different entrances to Adik, so be careful. There's loot all up in it. We'll go ahead and move away. This is a pretty hot area right here, the hole in the floor, Kiba, things like that. So keeping in mind that we probably don't have the Kiba keys. Even if you do, you could stop and run over there, of course, but it is really hot area, so we're going to avoid it. We're going to go back around, and we're going to go through this back hallway towards our next POI. And this is the OLI Secret computer room right here, number 5. And we are going to go ahead and loot up OLI Secret computer room. Looking for graphics cards in all the computers. There's also some decent spawn on the tables in there and some other weapon cases as well. There's also a black box underneath the stairs here. So go ahead and do your thing, loot it up in here, and we will move on from there through Goshen. Make sure to be careful. Check your obviously always check your corners. You can, it's Interchange. You can find people anywhere, so be careful here. Check through this door, make sure it's clear. Come out, obviously be looking right, be looking left, clear everything, keep moving forward. And this is probably one of the longest stretches and most dangerous stretches of the run, and you're going to need to keep moving forward. You can either go through the little coffee shop here, or you can go around to the right, whatever floats your boat, or works in the moment. And we're going to make our way around here. Of course, here we're going to stop and we're going to look down main, and make sure that we're not seeing anybody down main, that we're not putting ourselves in danger, or even if we are, that it's as little danger as possible. If it looks super hot, you can go ahead and skip. You could even skip to number 8 here if you want to avoid this whole section. But 6 and 7 are pretty decent looks. So we're going to go ahead, and if it looks clear, we're going to take this part of the run. We're going to move in and move into 6. 6 is German, I believe, is what it's called, and it is basically a little tech shop. There are graphics cards in here as well, and it's, I believe, a wooden floor as well, just like Rasmussen, just like Texho. It's one of those similar type of stores to that. Check all the shelves. Great spot to look, but be careful. This isn't a very hot area. It is right across from Mantis. There's a lot of action here. You can even see it from the hole in the floor in Kiba, so get in, get out if you're going to do this. And then we're going to move to the next one. I believe this store is called TTS. My apologies if I got that wrong, but it is right here in this location. I promise you that. You're going to move through to here. If you have the keys to the Immercom medical area right here, obviously feel free, look in there, loot it up, but be careful. But number 7 here, if you look on the shelves and the tables, loot this whole area because you can find graphics cards in this store as well. Great little spot, often overlooked. Please do check this spot. And then from there, we're going to move back through here. You can even cut through this little dark library here. It's a little safer even, and cut through the window here, but your choice. You can go through here. I like to use the little bathroom to cut through straight to POI number 8. And just like OLI Secret computer room, we have Idea Secret computer room here. Same sort of scenario. Obviously, check your corners, be careful moving in. There could be people who have already made it, especially by this point in the game, because you're on the opposite side of the map than you might have spawned on. So there could be people in there, be careful. But check all the computers in here. You're looking for graphics cards, even for any computer parts. They're just worth so much right now. We're going to do that, loot up the whole place. And then from there, guys, we're going to keep moving through here. This is another long stretch, but this one's usually fairly calm. Not always though, so do be careful. Moving through here. Right here is a dangerous spot. I don't encounter many people right here, but if you do encounter them, it is dangerous. I will say that. So move through this pace very quickly, because you can be seen from here, from here, from here, from here, and from here. So many angles, you just can't really take cover from all that. So you need to move through quickly. Obviously take a peek, make sure no one's there. Move through here. And you could move through the little registers. It's probably the most direct way. We're moving to point number 9 here, which is the offices. But I like to go through the back. There is even like a little special spawn in the back here. They can spawn like even lion statues and stuff. So keep your eyes peeled as you move through here. But our main focus is number 9. This is the Idea offices. This is where you can find Tetrizes again, graphics cards. There are computers in here, so loot up the computers in here. And obviously check the shelves of the back room as well for that Tetriz, for that graphics card. And in the front area as well, there's basically a table that the graphics cards and Tetrizes like to spawn a lot. So please check that spot. And then from there, this is a great room. We are going to move out the back of that straight to power station right here, number 10. This is our last really major POI. Here it can spawn Tetrizes as well. There's also computers in here. Same sort of deal. It's all like we're just hitting the main spots for these tech spots, as we said. So you're gonna loot the bejesus out of this room. There's even a little black box and tool over here on this side, in these little sheds over here if you'd like. But again, check the back room of this power station, the northernmost according to this map side, up here on top, that side of the building. There is a shelf in there, a white shelf. As you turn into the room on the right side, there's a white shelf there, guys, and that can spawn Tetrizes right on that shelf. Check there next to all the computers. There's even a little barrel cache right here, guys. So from there, you're gonna head out and you're gonna start making your way to Railway. This is your way to get out. Hopefully you're full of loot by this point. Again, this is the best part about it, as you're out, usually the outskirts are really safe for the most part. Don't generally encounter people. Obviously stay on your toes. This is Tarkov, but there's no more shooter born in heaven on Interchange, so that helps. But there are stashes, like I said at the beginning, all over. Make sure you get the stash over here. If you have time, come over to the side, get the stashes over here. I encourage you guys to look at a map, to look at an Interchange stash guide for the Railway stashes. grassy caches and barrels. There are so many, and there's so much extra loot you can just fill up on. Even if you're full, you can hit them and just start replacing things that are more valuable. So definitely check that out. And that is pretty much the run, guys. Obviously, if you spawn on this side of the map, please do flip it, go the other way around if you have to. In addition to that, again, if you have the keys, just supplement to this. If you've got a safe room key, obviously, maybe even instead of going to the railway, you could go down to the safe room, get out through there. Over here, even in the OLI offices, there are some extra computers. You can take the time to stop over here if you're really, really, really wanting that computer loot. So that's part of the optionals as well. And if you have the Object 21WS, I believe, you could also stop by out here if the power is on and hit this little secret crate out here. That is often not hit. I'm usually the only one hitting that when I go in there, and I get tons of extra just supplementary loot in there at an inexpensive cost. The keycard's not that expensive. You make your money back fast. Well, everybody, that sums up our Interchange tech run that I have for y'all. I really hope this information helps. I've made so much money doing this. It's a ton of loot and a lot of fun. Sometimes you do get into some fun battles along the way. Again, I encourage you to use the map that we made. Link will be in the description. We stream on twitch.tv/CalzXTV as well as on YouTube. We have tons of other guides on YouTube as well for you. Again, we do have over 130 members in our Discord. We would love to have you be a part of it. We do weekly events that we have tons of newcomers joining into, so we'd love to have you become a part of that. A like, subscribe does so much for our channel. It really, really supports us. And thank you so much for your time, and we will catch you in the next one.